What Alan Watts says is that, life is inherently dialectic. Things are inherently dialectic. You are you. At the very same time, you are part and parcel of this wave of humanity. Every wave, is it the crest of the wave or, is it the trough of the wave? Well, it's both. There is no wave without the trough and the crest. And so in so many different ways, Alan Watts shows how we can be two things at the same time. And to think that like your identity ends at your skin is illusory. The truth of the matter is your identity extends far beyond your skin. Every single day you wake up different than you were the day before. It's just a fact. There is like a trend line, okay, but a trend line is not all the data. There is a trend line that you can plot, and your mind file is that trend line that's plotted. And then my mind was just totally blown by Ray Kurzweil. The book, The Age of Spiritual Machines, was given to me by one of the most extraordinary people that I've ever met. Her name is Patricia Kluge, and you can Google her. She's just an extraordinary individual. So she was one of the very first investors in United Therapeutics. And when I first met her, she came to my office, which was then in Washington, D.C., and she came up with ask, do I have a box, like a shoebox? And I said, yeah, I'll find a box. So I quickly ran and found a box. It was a bird that was injured and had fallen, whether it had flown into a window or whatever. And she had like nestled this bird in her hand and brought it and set it in the box and asked if we could take it to a vet to see if there was anything that could be done. So that's the energy of Patricia Kluge. But she also brought me another gift, which was The Age of Spiritual Machines. And if you've never seen the physical copy of it, it has a mirror like when you look at the cover, it's like a mirror, but it's not exactly a mirror because, of course, it's print and whatnot. So it's kind of shimmery and you see a distorted reflection. And the point of Kurzweil was to say that, we are not just ourselves, we are reflected in everything around us. And then so he laid out the whole, Kurzweil philosophy about exponential growth of information, and that this was in 2000, 1999, 2000, and that it's absolutely inevitable that we will create digital consciousness. And the digital consciousness is not something different from us. The digital consciousness is humanity in another form. And he created Ramona, which was his female alter ego. And that was like, an early version of Ted, like a star of an early version of Ted.
Mm.
Not that it's not real, but to make it technological, I guess is what I'm saying. And my personal operating system is very much like technological, like Maker. I just love to make things, in the physical world. So he kind of gave me a recipe for how to make it. Xenogenesis is an example of like the meridians of life, because my youngest daughter's name is Genesis. In order to keep her alive, I ultimately have to make a xenolung. I went and got my PhD in xenotransplantation, and then I come across this book like Xenogenesis is like WTF.